Oh hey, it's Buttons. I'm back and I'm getting ready. Today I thought that I would introduce you to my brand new filming setup. My original setup in my kitchen wasn't necessarily the most conducive to time because I was depending on natural daylight, and that only happens for so many hours during the day. So I decided to invest in some lighting and some, I don't know if you want to call it professional equipment necessarily, but maybe I'll call them professional techniques. Maybe I'll have a little tour video going up soon. I have yet to decide, just because I started filming one and then I realized that I wasn't consistent with how much footage I was getting. You know, all those ADHD problems. I feel like doing a completely full beat today, and I just wanted to chit chat and, you know, just get a little bit more cozy. So as y'all can see, I am fresh and rosy out of the shower. My hair's still a little bit wet. It's nice out today. Why am I not outside? I don't know. My current primer of choice, the Tatcha Silk Canvas. It's beautiful, it's lovely. Also, if you notice that my hands are shaking, it's because I'm caffeinated. I'm very caffeinated. I still have yet to kind of work out the kinks of this new filming setup, just because I started putting everything together in a really organized way, and I realized that that wasn't necessarily the approach that I should take. The way my brain works isn't in an organized fashion. Not when it comes to artistry, that is. I feel like when I'm like doing a task, it's very organized, but when I'm just kind of like sitting here beating face, I'm just kind of like, oh, a little over here, a little over there. C'est la vie. I think I'm gonna mix my Ordinary foundation today, and I literally mean Ordinary. It's from the brand The Ordinary. There's these two right here. I have 1.0 NS, which is neutral silver, and I have 1.2 YG, which is yellow gold, I'm assuming. I actually haven't used these on myself yet. I've used them on clients, but I haven't really mixed a shade for myself, so I guess we're gonna do a little experimentation. This is the coverage foundation, not the serum foundation. They actually have two main foundations, I'm pretty sure, in this brand. What I do is I just put the foundations on the back of my hand and I just mix them together and I distribute them evenly. My face is just a giant Frankenstein's monster of colors, essentially. I look like I'm going to war. I look like I am about to fight a battle for your honor. So I'm going to blend in with a brush. This is my multitasker. I just had an idea. All right, folks. So I went to Rite Aid, got myself a protein shake, and I also got daylight light bulbs, because this light that I have going on here doesn't work. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, my friends. Wow. So now I gotta change my ring light panels. Yo! So excited. And now where the fuck was I? Foundation. It's looking good, but I want a little more coverage. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, friends, we're going to just build up the coverage in certain areas where I want it. This is such bright lighting. Oh man. The coverage on these foundations is really nice. It's not too full, but it's buildable, so you can make it fuller if you want. The Ordinary. I actually bought these on beautylish.com, if y'all are curious. Purchased 7 of these foundations for my my kit. So they've been really helpful because not only are they unbelievably affordable, but they're such beautiful formulations. This is the first time I've actually used the Ordinary products on myself, so I'm super stoked to see that it's working really well. I'm using another foundation to bronze up. I'm using the NYX Total Control Coverage Drops. Since I don't have powder on my face right now, putting another liquid on won't interfere because all I have on is a liquid base. And bronze up the sides of the face. concealer I'm going to use today is the Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Concealer. I'm just going to pop that right on my under eye area. This one works best with the fingers. So I'm actually just going to tap out the product. So I've got my Cover FX Loose Powder. This is my #1 ride or die powder. I'm in love with this stuff. They have a pressed version as well. Just taking a tiny bit in the lid, and I'm going to use my powder brush just to set the under eye. My highlight is the Bare Minerals Invisible Glow in the shade Medium. This is actually going all over the cheek and also on the tip of my nose. My next one is the Too Faced Love Light highlighter. I'm just going to the very tops of the cheekbones for a little bit of brightness. I'm taking a little bit with my finger. I guess next comes the eyes. I'm using the Smashbox 24-Hour eyeshadow primer. This is a clear primer just to give the eyeshadow a good sticky base. Now that I've got the primer on, I'm going to conceal on top of the primer. So for that, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. So the reason why I actually use 2 different kinds of bases is because I feel like one of each doesn't work by themselves necessarily. Concealers tend to crease up on me, and primers aren't tacky enough. There's other concealers that are pretty tacky and full coverage, but I don't have any of those right now, so I'm making do with what I have. But this is a good way to kind of ensure that your base isn't going to move. The Smashbox primer is by far the best eyeshadow base that I've actually ever used, and that's because of the fact that it does get the most tacky. I feel like a lot of the other ones, for some reason, they don't grab on as well, and they're too silky. So they glide and they blend really easily when shadows layer on top of them, but they don't grip. You know what I'm saying? So the pigmentation's not there. So the first transition shade that I'm going to be applying is Dusty Rose, and I am going to apply it with my Morphe E22. Got a nice dense fluffiness going, so this is going to really pack on that color but still diffuse it at the same time. With the Anastasia shadows, I find that tapping it is a little bit more, I guess, safe when you're packing it on, because they do tend to get kind of dusty. So I'm just going to take a fluffy brush here, and I'm using no product on it, and I'm just going to soften it. Now I'm grabbing kind of a smaller stubby brush. I'm going to grab that same color, Dusty Rose, and just shape out the bottom. And then I'm going to grab my fluffy brush one more time and blend that out. I'm deepening up the crease a little bit. We're going to take a smaller flat brush, Rustic, which is this color right down on the bottom. I'm just kind of pushing that into the crease, mostly the outer corner. Always go back in with a fluffy brush and blend out a little more. As they say, when in doubt, blend it out. Same brush going on the bottom. Alright, so now I'm going to take my fluffy brush and actually grab a little bit of product. I'm grabbing Sienna, and I'm barely tapping in. I'm just going to very, very gently just kind of grab a tiny bit of product, and I'm going to warm up the entire crease area. I'm going to start in the outer corner pressing, and then very, very carefully just sweep that color through, and you can see how it just kind of warms it up. Tap off, press that in, and then slide it through. Such a beautiful color. So I'm gonna take my smaller flat brush, just like I did on the top. Gonna pop that in on the bottom. We're gonna start to press on a brighter lid color. Grabbing my flat brush. Tempera. Tempera always reminds me of like tempura vegetables. It's not spelled the same way, in the palette at least. So I'm just pressing that right onto the lid just to brighten up the inner corner area. Guess what we're gonna do after? We're gonna blend. So I'm just really softly going along the edges, marrying the crease and the lid together. And then repeat on the other side. This is an interesting shade because it has a tiny bit of satiny shimmer to it. So it's a really nice subtle brow highlight if you're more of a light to fair complected person, such as my pasty ass self. I'm taking my NYX Jet Black Gel Liner. I'm grabbing a tiny, tiny, tiny little brush, and I'm gonna map out a wing on the bottom lash line. I'm gonna take a very small smudge brush and just kind of soften that liner that I put down. And I'm grabbing Noir. Noir. Do I say it the American way? Do I say it the French way? I think I should say it the French way. Noir. And I'm just gonna pat the edges of that liner. We're gonna kind of create that real smoky effect. All right, onto the brows. Dipping into my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in soft brown. It's really easy to go super overboard with this stuff. And I know that every single YouTuber on the planet uses it, so I'm not like, you know, breaking the mold here. But I do think that it's also possible to use it in a very natural and soft way, which is how I do my brows. Shocking, I know. So for this, what I'm doing is just kind of stamping out the outline of my brow. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of all of the liner on my hand. This is the one thing that fucks me up every single time that I like work on set, is that I have a bunch of liner on my hand. And then I'll like go in to try and touch somebody's face and not realize that I've just stamped their face with a giant glob of black liner. And I'm like, great, I have 10% battery left. So we're gonna hurry. I'm gonna pop on my lashes. First, we do mascara. So I'm using the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. So I'm going in with my Huda Lash Glue, and I'm taking my Morphe lashes in Flirt Alert. These are the cutest freaking lashes I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to pop a coat of glue on there real fast. Popped it on the center. And now we're gonna secure, I think I wanna secure the inner corner first. And then I'm gonna secure the outer corner as well. Last thing we're gonna do, now that my phone's died twice and shit, we're gonna do some lips. How's that sound? So I'm grabbing my NARS Power Matte. This one's called London Calling. Favorite liquid lip formulation ever. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some hair and a hat, and I'll be right back. Alright folks, this is the completed look with hair and all. I got a wig just so growing out my hair naturally would be a little bit easier and bearable. It serves me some goth skater girl vibes. Thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate you being here. Let me know what you want to see next. Now that I've got an entire setup, I kind of have no excuse. So I need y'all to keep me accountable. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay. One of the Y2K, what? ABC. What do I wanna do for the eyes today? What do I wanna do? I fucked up. Nope. Oh. There we go. Nope. No. Okay. Technical difficulties. Please, Lord, don't let anything else happen today. I don't need this. She's clean-ish. Cleanish.